Hello everyone, we are from Group 3. Antoine and I will explain about Harry Susilo moral leadership and family business succession. Using his paternalistic leadership skills, Susilo hated his family and also the family business. Firstly, he hired 5 employees during the beginning of his business, and despite being the owner, he could work with them in both receipts and delivery operation, and thus indicating team leadership. Also, he sought to motivate his siblings by giving them space to get involved in the Zakat group. He also shared 50% of the investment among his siblings equally, and when economic crisis hit Zakat group in the year 1990, his younger sister suffered a lot of depression. However, Susila's resilience and attitude encouraged her to face the challenge that depicts how sympathetic nature. And the main advantage of a paternalistic leader is the virtue of focusing the employees' welfare. And the con associated with this leadership is the over-reliance on the leaders on operation and decision making. Moving to the moral leadership, it's a kind of leadership where a leader focuses on service through persuasion, self-awareness, motivation, and serving all people in general. Susilo helped his business and his extended family concurrently. He motivated employees and his siblings to work hard for the success of the company, and the moral leadership of Zakat was based on strong family governance and mutual relationship among the family members up to the third generation. Susilo had plans for the third generation in the Zakat group. He pushed for the adoption of his core values to the business so that the third generation can embrace it. Some approaches adopted included a cooperation of both family members and non-family professionals to strike a balance for the perseverance of the firm. Also, the Zakat Group started offering employees generous benefits, continuous training for the professional development, and excellent sport facilities, rewards, and incentives. And all this aimed at building a motivational culture. He incorporated the young generation in leadership and management at a younger age. Also, he gave young managers entrepreneurial goals by asking them to be significant on social impacts and not beneficial results when doing business. The firm promoted its function through developing a support fund, thus helping the young manager to grow. And the benefit of the strategy is that the answer people are motivated, and growth to young manager was continuous. The only disadvantage is that the firm consisted of inexperienced personnel in the name of growing managers. The biggest challenge the firm faced was creating a balance between family members and non-family professionals. Moving to the Zakat Group CSR, economic behavior is guided by economic ethics, which consists of principles and moral standards. Economic ethics enable the business to have a reduction in the cost of a transaction, and it also enables to establish trust within the business entities. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, establishes specific ethical conduct within a firm, its values, objectives, and competences. Moral economics and corporate social responsibility facilitated the Zakat Group in developing its corporate image as a communal responsible business entity. Zakat Group, under the leadership of Susilo, donated to several needy groups and assists in the peaceful negotiation of China and Korea. And being socially responsible comes along with the financial implication, since the business uses its finance to fund projects. Successions at the Zakat Group can be done effectively through an integration of both the family members of the third generation with the non-family professionals through the establishment of a mutual relationship. Susilo should also keep a close eye to the company to monitor the activities going on in his management absentia. The third generation should also focus on continuous learning so that they can have excellent management skills. And leadership hierarchy should be based on the age of the fifth generation members. The CSR itself, to avoid marine pollution, Zakat Group was not initially involved in aquaculture, but with innovation in seawater filtration technology and improvements in shrimp varieties, the group began breeding shrimp and expanding its processing plants to meet the demands of the global market. The group was committed to addressing future global environmental problems and it attached great importance to ecological compensation and used advanced technologies to protect the environment in the areas where it worked. And to promote general development in agriculture, fishery, and animal husbandry, Zakat Group had worked with civil society and cooperatives in Indonesia to help establish small to medium-sized food processing companies, and which effectively promote the development of the local economy. And Zakat Group had created more than 24,000 jobs for farmers, and the cooperative had created hundreds of thousands of jobs indirectly. And the export of agriculture products also brought foreign exchange earnings to Indonesia. And according to Susilo, only when the whole industry was thriving could a company within experience healthy development in a favorable environmental.
So, in this aspect, Sekar Group isn't only responsible for the aquaculture with seawater filtration technology and improvement in shrimps variety, because the group began breeding shrimps and expanding its processing plants to meet the demand of the global market. Not only that, Sekar Group involved the local people to get the opportunity to join Susilo in his small until medium-sized food processing companies. So before we handed over all this power, who would take charge of the company? So in our opinion, Fina Wang will take the spot of Susilo because he is very proficient with the business demands of the group and of course knows about the ins and the outs of his father's riches. The qualified experience greatly adds to the belief that Fina can replace Susilo properly in accordance with the way of life of the business being carried out. The same view of caring for others makes Fina the strongest candidate in this regard. To replace a leader is not an easy thing, but the similarity of character and similarity of mind from the previous leader is very much dreamed of. This will maintain the business ideology that has been built for decades and maintain the organizational culture so that it remains sustainable. So, who among the members of the third generation will be the successor with a leadership style similar to Susilo's? So, in our opinion, Fina Wang is the best candidate in this regard. Fina is a slightly different person from the point of view of her father, who is very focused on Eastern culture, while Fina herself is a person who is open and to the point about what she feels. However, Fina is a third generation who can be said to be very similar to Susilo, with a high social spirit and tenacity in socializing. Fina owns the Orphanage Foundation, which is something that Susilo has applied to the development of a business that now is very successful. With a similar point of view between the two, we think Fina is very capable of continuing Susilo's business with the same goal, which is to run a business with love. Not only love for what is being done in this business, but love for others, so that doing this business will create happiness for all beings. The question is, how could Sekar Group, a family business with a story of 51 years and nearly 100 family members, hold on to the fundamental principles of business ethics during the process of passing on the family business and building and improving the family governance system? So this is something that Susilo always apply to the second and third generation, whereas they must apply a principle of reciprocity to society. So we are not responsible for the business life we run, but how we can maintain harmony in business and life outside the business, so that it creates a very core thing. And in this case, the second and third generations really appreciate Susilo and continue to apply these values in their business treatment. Susilo is a real example that will be imitated by the next generation. So that carrying out succession with the application of the value held by Susilo is a fundamental thing and can be done in implementing succession in the business. Now we will speak about the ecological ethics view. So based from the ecological ethics, Sekar Group cares about the environment so much. That's why they make an innovation by making seawater filtration technology and improvement in shrimp varieties. This literally able to avoid the pollution in the seawater and affect other ecosystems. This is part of their responsibility to make a balanced condition between his business and keeping the ecosystem in good condition. It's like the goal of this business where Susilo always put love and responsibility in life. So social responsibility like this isn't only bring a positive impact to the people or nature around the business place, but it also give a positive impact to the business itself. So it can gain an investor because of this as well. Now on the utilitarianism view, so based from utilitarianism view, Seca Group spends some cost about innovations in seawater filtration technology and improvement in shrimp variety. In this case, the company put an effort on that, so spend some money to maintain a good ecosystem. But in the other hand, it makes the company get a good impact for the company, like goodwill, and the technology can be used to get a high quality of water for the business as well. So thank you everyone for listening our presentation.